Welcome to Top Shelf. Today we have the Intel NUC 10th Gen Mini PC, and I'm excited to show this to you guys. It's a really powerful, really small form factor machine, and so let's dive in. You ready for this? So let's do a little unboxing here, and I'll show you what's going on. We've got this little guy, and supported by these nice little foam pads, nice, well protected. I'm gonna go ahead and set that to the side. And what we've got here is this beautiful little powerhouse. Love it. To give you a little tour of the outside, just to show you what's going on, we've got a single USB 3.0 port. I wish there was two. I find myself needing more USB ports with these guys, but of course with the small form factor you can only fit so much. You've also got a USB-C, which is really rad. You can turn that into all sorts of different things like USB hubs and external monitors and stuff like that. And let's see, and we also have the headphone mic jack on the front. So let's flip it to the back here. We've got an additional 2 USB ports. Like I said, I wish I had 1 or 2 more extra. Every time I connect one of these, I have to add another USB hub to it. We've got another USB-C, which is really nice. It's Thunderbolt capable. And you got your network port, HDMI port, and power. Now, one addition that they made to this new one that they haven't always in years past is this handy dandy SD card slot. So if you're dealing with a lot of photography, aerial drones, those type of things, which I do, then it's really, really nice to have that little SD card slot there. So that is the outside. Let's go ahead and dive into the inside. And actually, the first time that I tried to take it apart, I tried to take off the top cover. Don't do that. When you take off the top cover, it's just like this metal plate with the heat sink and stuff for the CPU. That's not how you get to the good stuff. So to get to it, you're actually going to undo the screws that are in the little cushion bumpers here. All 4 of them will pop right off. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we're gonna pop this cover off, and these screws actually are still attached even when fully undone, so that's really nice. You're not having to worry about losing them. And you're gonna bring this guy all the way off, like so. Alright, so here's the inside, and what we've got here is an NVMe drive. I've got the Samsung 500 gig version in here, and it's wonderfully performant, really inexpensive. I got it for less than $100. Amazon link below if you're looking for any of these components. I'll post them down there, as well as Hyper-V DDR4 2666 I believe is what I have in here, and it's really, really well performing. 32 gigs. You can have up to 64 gigs, which 64 gigs in this small form factor, that's pretty impressive. So it's got inside here on the flip side, it's got an Intel Core i7 10710U processor. It's the 25 watt version, which means they can pump a whole bunch of extra power through it and get a lot of extra speed. Here's a benchmark from TechCrunch. So what you can see here is it's far more performing in this little guy than you would get in a normal laptop, which is really, really cool. And you can even bump it up to 4.7 gigahertz, which is pretty insane for this little guy. A normal desktop processor, you're seeing 4.0, 4.2, but 4.7 out of this little guy is really, really cool. It's got 6 cores. Like I said before, you can have up to 64 gigs max RAM and an NVMe drive of your choice. And they do have a compatibility list there that you can take a look at. So this is the Intel NUC 10. Like I said, a bunch of really neat use cases that you can get out of this. Where I primarily put them is actually in conference rooms. So you pair this bad boy up with a microphone and a webcam, and you've got a really, really good conferencing computer, as well as a wireless keyboard and mouse. If you pair that up as well. It's just super nice, super clean, and you don't have to worry with wires sticking out of the back of the TV, because this thing can just be tucked in behind the TV. Another use case that you can have as well is like in a lab, in a school setting. I know that sometimes you're cramming as many computers in a lab as you can, and space becomes a premium. So you can actually take these guys, and with the mount, let me pull the mount out here. There's the power supply and the mount. So with this little guy, you can actually mount it on the back of a TV or monitor. Super, super neat. It also has some holes for wall screws. So what you'll do is you put the 2 screws in, hang it on the wall, and then you take this guy, snap it in, and it's hanging on the wall. And so that's really nice for behind conference room TVs, which is really, really neat. Another option as well is call centers. I have a buddy that works at an eye surgery center, and he took his call center computers and installed these on all of them. He took the main box and either put it behind the TV or behind the monitor, or he even tucked it underneath the desk. And so all of the wires were completely hidden, and you can mount this guy anywhere. And I think that's where the real benefit to this type of form factor is that you can hide the box, you can hide the CPU and all the processing power wherever you want, and it just turns into this nice clean setup. Let's talk a little bit about longevity. Longevity is about the same as a typical laptop. So if you replace your laptops every 3 years, that's probably, you're gonna have that same replacement cycle with these guys. If you replace them every 4 years, you'll probably be able to extend these out to 4 years. I have gotten a 5th year out of them, but only when I replace this one with a more powerful one and then use the hand-me-down in another location that maybe isn't as demanding as our primary locations. And so the longevity is fantastic. I haven't had any hardware pieces fail on me yet, which is really, really impressive. And it's mostly just programs reaching the max performance level of these guys. And this one with the 10th gen, with it being so performant, I expect it to last 3 easy, 4 if you're pushing it, and then 5 when you're really, really extending it. So these are amazing. I've got all of the parts and pieces that I've added into this kit in the description below, and so you can take a look at all of those and we're good to go. That is the NUC 10. I love it. This is definitely a top shelf product. It's definitely going on my top shelf, and big fan of it. Hey everyone, if you have any questions about today's top shelf video, feel free to ask those questions in the comments section below. Also, take a look at my friend's channel, Electric Revolution, where he does reviews on electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards. They're very, very enjoyable to watch. Thanks everyone.